Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Assalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma, Rabbi zidni ilma, Rabbi zidni ilma. Assalamu alaikum brothers and sisters. Welcome to ISLC's today's session on career in IT. What is a career? How would you define a career in layman's terms? Or what does Wikipedia describe for a career? It is described as an individual's journey through learning, work, and other aspects of life. Choosing a career in your educational path after the high school could be one of the most important decisions you can make in a time when life has more questions for you than answers. So let's actually have a brief look at what is information technology. What do you mean by information technology? How does a layman look at it? It's something to do with a computer. That's what it means in layman's term. Anything to do with computers. IT can be termed as the study, design, development, implementation, support, or management of computer-based information systems. Having said this, who needs information technology, or where do you find it? You will find it at homes, business, and education. At home, these days we use all digital systems. How does it come from? What goes into making it? Those are all the chips and hard disk, motherboards, the SD cards, all the Android systems. Everything counts into the IT. In the education field, how do you use it? It's used both for learning and for training, for presentations. There are like various ways you can use it in the field of education. And in your business, in your office, workplace, how do you use IT? The first software, that's the first piece or the object which you use is your laptop. And in your company or your workplace, you will use laptop, or you are dependent on your systems for every aspect of your work. May it be entering information, details, records, accounts, whatever it is. These days, IT go hand in hand with the business. First of all, any modern career is a challenge. For a graduate to succeed in a rapidly changing world, the world requires skills which are rarely taught in school or university. What do you learn in your school or university? Just the basics. You just learn the theory. Nobody teaches you practical, the functionalities of whatever you will do in your workplace. What is actually required in your job? How does the employer choose you? They look for skills such as flexibility, adaptability, the willingness to continuously learn, and everything mixed together with a small dose of creativity, and also getting along well with colleagues, bosses, and customers. These characteristics or these skills are especially true if you are in the field of information technology. So, what is a career in IT? We have seen what is a career. It's just a job. In layman's terms, it's a job. You will have a job for the rest of your life. And how do you choose it? The wise job you choose is a career. So, you have even seen about IT, information technology, where we use IT, how we use it. Now, let's see what is it.
Sorry for the interruption.
Yes, brother.
Yeah, there's some distortion from your side.
How is it, brother, now?
Now it's gone. It's clear
Okay.
now. Jazakallah khair.
Wayakum. Okay, so what is a career in IT? How would you define a career in IT? Is it just a long-awaited white-collar job? That's how people look at it. Or is it just sitting in front of a glowing box the whole day? Because most of the people who look at the IT professionals, they look at, hey, he's working in IT. They just look at, like you're the boss of the company. So what is a career in IT? Is it sitting in front of a glowing box? No. The answer is simply more than this. A person who's called an IT professional specialize in software or hardware, but either ways their focus is on problem solving techniques. If you choose a career in information technology, you will need advanced training and commitment to update your skill, to adapt to a steady phase of innovation. As business upgrade computing systems to support more faster, powerful, and increasingly global networks, skilled professionals are in greater demand these days. What are some of the facts about the IT sector these days? The computer sector is projected to grow 18% from now till the year 2020, and the IT jobs comprise 5 of the top 30 fastest growing careers. Now, having seen what is a career in IT, how do we categorize IT profession? What are the domains in it? As you can see from this slide, you have two sides, basically like two sides of a coin. These are just the generic terms and titles. They are not written on hard rock. So as an example, you will have an engineering and a software side in an IT department. So what goes into the engineering side? You will have PC support, you will have networking, security, systems architecture. And on the other hand, if you look at the software side, you will have the web designers, database administrators, the software programmers, developers, software architects, and so on. Anything to do with the coding side and the application comes under the software. Having seen the categories, the broad categories of IT profession, how will your company look like? If you have IT in your company, a typical setup in the company will look like this, what is seen in this picture here. You will have users just like any other employee working in a company. The normal employees working in a company can be called as a user. So what does the user use? He will use an application on a desktop, and this desktop can be running any operating system. It may be a Windows 7 or a Windows 2008 or anything. How do they access these applications? How are they connected to the others? What goes into the picture? A user, when he accesses an application, what he sees in front of him is nothing but the GUI, the graphical user interface. So this GUI is called the front end. And on the other side, when you enter the details into the front end, where does the data get stored? The data gets stored into your database. So that's what you see in the picture. When a user enters something in the application, the data gets stored in the database. And who will look after the database? You will have a database administrator or a team which looks into all the additions, modifications, and the health of the database. So basically they do the database operation. Now where does this database reside? If you look into the layman's term, it is just another PC or a high-end server. So this database is installed on a server with a very good configuration, very good memory, RAM, etc. So this server might run an operating system like a Linux, a Solaris, or in some cases even Windows. And who maintains the server? Who maintains these operating systems? This is taken care by the server administrator or the system administrator. Now, you have an application administrator. He is the one, or his team are the people who maintain the application, who take care of whatever functionalities that are required in the application by the user. So anything goes wrong with the application, the user will contact the application team or the application admin, who will come and fix the problem. And how are these servers connected to the users, desktops, and the application? It's all through the network. So who does the network? It will be done by the network administrator or a team called as a network team. What do? They look into the connectivity between the users and the server, and the server and the database, and also whatever information you browse on the internet is also taken care by the network people. So how do you shield yourself from the internet? As in, how do you protect yourself from unwanted viruses or spams or unwanted traffic? How do you make sure that the content comes in is a genuine traffic? You will have a firewall installed after all these database servers. So any traffic which hits the internet will have to cross the firewall, and this is also taken care by a network admin. So who takes care of any problem which comes to the user end? Say suppose you have a problem with your application, the front end application which you're trying to access. Say for example, you have a financial system. You have a problem accessing one of the GUIs when you're trying to enter the data. Who does the troubleshooting? You will have a support team or a PC support, desktop support team. This is how they call it. They will come and fix the problem, or they will try to see what's the problem and which team has to be called for. Now here you can see a list of generic titles. These are just samples. It does not mean that you will have the same title or the same typical setup in all the companies. These are just generic titles. You will have a help desk and support team. You will have a network administrators team who will take care of your network. You will have a system administrator who will take care of all your server side, the operating systems, your Windows, your Linux, your Solaris boxes, and so on. You will have a database administrator who will look into the database of your application. So he will be good at SQL, Oracle, Sybase, and there are like various databases these days. So that's what is done by the database team. And you will also have an application administrator. When I say an application administrator, this is usually meant for big applications like ERP, SAP, e-business suite. So these are like a big end application. It's a vast product which is having a lot of functionality. It's like all small softwares integrated into one package. So these are softwares like ERP, SAP, which is called a SAP, e-business suite. Normal applications usually does not require a team, but you will have one or two people who are managing it, who are looking into the problems and functionalities. And you will also have a programmer or a development team or a coding team who will do the coding, who will build the application from scratch as per the company's needs and requirements. Or they might be the people who develop a software and outsource it or sell it to the other companies or clients who need such software. And in a big company setup, you will also have an implementation team. Now, what does an implementation team do? When you have a new software, they will take care of all the configuration installation problems which come into the picture. So they usually do a testing trial phase. They have a trial phase before they do the actual implementation on the user. So This trial and testing is done by a testing team. So whatever problems the testing team faces, they will pass it on to the implementation team so that they can fix the problems and they will do the trial again. All these teams, the basic teams like the implementation, testing, the application, they are kind of managed by a project manager to see if the project is functioning smoothly. What phase has the project crossed? How far is it going successful? What needs to be done? Or what more needs to be done for the software or for the project? These things are taken care by the project manager. The project manager also takes care of, what are the client's requirements and how is the company or the project team trying to fix it. And above all these titles, in most cases, you will have a director of the company who will manage everybody, and the director is the person to whom all the other titles report to in most cases. So as I said, these are just generic terms. Now, having seen about the career in information technology, what are your educational requirements? What qualifications do you need to be an IT professional? Typically, you need a 4-year or a 3-year degree in one of the usual streams: computer science, information technology, which is usually called as BTech, or systems and software engineering, or electrical engineering. So these are just the basic degree which most of the employees, small size employers, look for. Apart from that, if you want to be placed in a very good position, there are some additional professional requirements. You need good communication skills, verbal and written skills. You will need strong technical skills. You will need to have creativity, and this comes into picture especially when you are in the field of web designing or training or presentation. Especially in your entry level, you would be required to put in a lot of effort. So you require a lot of creativity, if not more, but at least a little. And the most important thing is you need to be a standalone entity. If you want to be in the IT, you have to have your own standalone entity, as in you need to manage your own affairs. Or if you're stuck somewhere, you should know where to search for and what to search for. So these are some of the basic requirements for an IT professional. Now, what does the employer look when he recruits a profession? When he is looking for an IT professional, what does he look for in the person? Again, you would require communication skills. The employer or the person who's trying to hire you would make sure to see that you are a very good team player, because you will have to work in a team. It's not like you are given a single assignment, but in most cases, when you take into software or the coding or the development side, you will have to be a very good team player, because you need to agree, or you should be able to put your views in a very decent manner. You will have project management skills, or you should have project management skills if you want to grow ahead in your career path. These are actually, the project management skills are not required at the entry level, but gradually when you move on, when you move ahead in your career path, you would require, or the company would require you to have a little bit of project management skills to know where your project stands, to actually look for details in the project, to see what more has to be done for the project. These details have to be managed all by your own. So these are very important skills which an employer will look in you. And as you move ahead a little further more into the management side, you would also require business skills. So this is again a very important skill when you are looking for a management move. Usually the employer chooses from those candidates who have very strong analytical skills, who pays attention to details, and who are very good at communication skills. At least if you're not like very good in your technical and communication skills, you should at least have a little, at least the basics should be okay. Now let's assume you have a career in IT, you have been placed in an IT company. What are the advantages? The job is challenging, you get high earning, you get paid well, and if not for one, there are like a lot of jobs outside. So there are a lot of jobs available in the IT field, and the jobs are also rewarding in terms of the effort and time that you spend on the work. So when I say challenging, what do I mean by that? It means that any day in information technology career is not like the next day. So one day is not like today, is not like tomorrow for me. So this is very challenging. IT is challenging. And if you put in your hard work and your effort, you have to be a smart worker rather than saying a hard worker. You have to be a smart worker, and it's worth your efforts. And one more thing, what you have to have is you have to keep updating yourself constantly to grow in the fast moving field. Otherwise, you lose the game. Now, what are the technology requirements? We have seen what are the educational requirements, what graduation you would require. It's just a 3-year or 4-year degree, which is required by most of the employers. But if you really want to get placed in good companies, what are the other technology requirements? You will require a certification in one of the following domains, one of the broad categories of domains, either in hardware or a software. So what you see here, all the Oracle, Cisco, the Microsoft standards which are all seen here, the Visual Studio, CCR, DSS Toolkit, SQL Server, they are all the certifications which are available. I would not say all, but just some of the certifications, the well-known certifications which are available on hardware and the software side. Why do you need a career certification? Take for example, you are already placed in a company. The employer, as a fresher, the employer has hired you. They are happy with your graduation score and your skills and your technology and everything. But do you wish to stay in the same entry level? No, you don't. How would the employer assess you? How would he offer you a very good salary increase? How does that happen? You have to keep updating yourself in your skills. And how would you show your employer that you have updated your skills? Do you just sit and write a written exam in your company? This is how the employer assesses you? No. Most of the companies, most of the very good companies, they require their employees to pass certain certifications depending on whatever domain they are working in. Say if you are in your database, working either on Oracle or SQL, the employer would want you to finish a certificate. He will set a target and ask you to finish a certificate in Oracle or SQL, whatever your domain is. Again, there are various fields. If you are in the system, you would be asked or you would be required to finish a Microsoft certificate, an MCSA or MCITP for a basic level. Or if you're in the networking side, you would be asked to finish a CCNP or a CCNA if you're just in the entry level. So these are some of the benefits which you get after you complete a certification. But does it stop with that? Does your certification stop with the entry level? No, it does not. And I would say that it's like one of the drawbacks of a certification. When you do a certification, do not stick to just one vendor's technology. Move ahead. try to explore the other vendors also. Say if you are having a certificate in Microsoft, try to Microsoft SQL, try to get the same in the database in Oracle. Or if you're having an operating system certificate in Windows, do something else in Solaris or Linux or NetWare. See what is in demand in the market and try to get the certification. Or if you are in the networking, if you're doing a Cisco, try to do something else in Juniper. So you are not a single vendor certified person. Just make sure that you know the other technologies as well, and you know the other vendors technology as well. And one more thing you have to be careful about is just do not let your certificates expire. Keep updating them, either by writing the higher level exams or just rewrite the same certification if you're already in the higher level. So these are some of the requirements of a certification. These are some of the common certifications which usually freshers will look into when they start their profession. So you have some of the Microsoft certifications listed here: the MCSA, MCSE, MCSD, CNE, which is the Certified NetWare Engineer. NetWare is an operating system. And on the programming side, you have Java, and there are like a couple of other certificates also. You can do a certificate on ASP, on VB, on .NET. There are a lot of technologies. You just need to explore them. There is an A+ for security side, and on the network side, you can have a certificate in CCNA, CCNP from the Cisco, or a JNCP from Juniper. On the database side, you can be an OCP or OCA from Oracle, or you can do something else from the SQL side. So there are like various options, various technologies, and a lot of vendors available in the market. Explore, see what's the best in the market, and take up the certification. See what is in demand, and then take up the certification. Because you just don't want to do something which is gone obsolete. Now, having seen all the certification lists, we've just had a brief overview on what certifications are available in the market. Let's see some of the certifications we offer at ISLC. Currently, we have certifications on networking and security, and we have some in the Microsoft side as well. Let me show you some of them. Okay, so this is the ISLC site, and these are the courses offered, the online courses available here. We have network and security, and let's see what courses are available inside. Okay, so we have CCNA routing and switching. We have CCNA security, CCNA voice. The CCNAs are all the entry level, the associate level. So these are just the basic levels. Moving forward, we have CCNP routing and CCNP switching. Inshallah, in future we are also planning to have the CCSP, which is security professional. So from Cisco side and from networking side, these are the certificates offered at ISLC. Let's have a look at the Microsoft side also. Okay, so this is the list under the Microsoft. We have MCITP Server Administrator. We have MCITP Active Directory Administrators, Exchange Server Certificate. So these are from the Microsoft side. And inshallah, we will be having virtualization certifications and the other certifications you can see here: software development under Adobe, Joomla, which is again a web designing tool, WordPress. And for the database side, we are planning to have classes for Oracle and MySQL. So these are some of the courses offered at ISLC. Now here you can see a list of career which are just a list. It's just a generic title which are available in the market in the field of information technology. So you can see CAD operator, computer animator. You have a lot of list here: computer operator trainer, forensic, repair, a consultant, and under the database you have the administrator and developer, and you have a disaster recovery specialist, ethical hacker, and hardware engineer, help desk professional, IT manager, network administrator, installer, programmer, and there are like so many here. You have systems engineer, analyst, video game designer, web designers, web developers, webmasters. So these are just some of the 30 top listed IT careers available today in the field of information technology. Now you have seen the list, so there are so many possibilities and there are so many different fields you can choose from. There is telecommunication, there is virtualization, you have hardware, you have networking, software, database, systems, and so on. There are like tons of jobs available in the IT. There are system engineer jobs, software programmer jobs, help desk, and the list is vast. It just keeps going on. So this is actually a great field to work at. Having said all this, how would you choose what is good for you? Which career is best for you? How can you choose this? Whom will you go for help? Just get help from people who are already there in the field, the experienced people who are having enough knowledge to guide you to take a step ahead in your career. Get their views, meet job counselors. They will have vast knowledge on what is suited for you, what are your skills, and what would be best for you. So they will guide you what is best in the market and what is best for you. You will have an idea at the end of all these counseling. But again, let me remind you, choose a career that you like and that which you are good at. This will help you in the long run, because if you choose a career which you are really good at but you don't like it, every day will become like a nightmare for you. You will just end up going to your work, coming back, and you will not have an interest in it. And this kind of a work will not let you move ahead in your career. You will just feel stagnated. So choose a career which you are good at and which you like. Again, saying when you choose a career which you like but you're not good at, you will again not go ahead in your career. So you have to be very careful and you have to make a wise decision when you are choosing a career. This will help you in your long run. And one more thing is that love your job, not the company. This is a very common phrase in the IT world. Love your skills, enhance your skills, get required knowledge, and keep moving ahead in your career path. So do not just stick with the entry level in any job that you are placed in. Make sure you see what is required by the employer, what are his expectations, try to meet the expectations, try to specialize in whatever field you're working in, be the best in your field. And it's always sun and there is always a job in IT. You just have to look for it. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us find a career which benefits us and which help us make others benefit from us and serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a better way. Brothers and sisters, let me know if you have any questions.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, brother.
Yeah. Mr. Shamim, there's a question.
Yes, brother.
Cisco, yeah, is Cisco and Microsoft are the same standard spice? Like the question is, which is bigger or which is better?
I cannot call it same because both are two different technologies. Cisco has more of networking side, virtualization, and the fields are different, the domains are different. Though they are in the same hardware, in terms of Microsoft handles system or servers, Exchange directories, applications, and they have the SQL database also now. But if you ask me whether they are same, my answer or it's not the same. It's not like, but if you compare Cisco with Juniper, both are into the networking. So if you compare it this way, I can say that one is better than the other. But if you compare Microsoft with Cisco, Microsoft is on the system side and Cisco is on the networking side in most cases. So both are not the same. So if you take up a Microsoft certification, you will land up in a different area. You will land up as a system admin or a database admin for SQL or an Exchange admin, Active Directory. It's all everything to do with systems and servers. But if you look into the Cisco, you will end up with a job as a network admin, a security professional, a firewall admin, everything to do with the network and the traffic flow. So I hope this answers your question.
Sister. The second question is, what certifications are in demand in the Middle East?
Middle East, I would say the major vendors, the Microsoft certificates on the system side, Oracle on the database side, and networking certificates. I would not say one vendor is best. I would not just stick to Cisco because they even look for migration to other vendors. So it's better to have one of the networking vendors, either Cisco or Juniper. Best or the basic level, I would say, is Cisco, because Cisco certifications will give you the basics for any networking career. So once you do a Cisco certificate, a CCNA or a CCNP, you will have a know-how or an idea of how a network works. So this will actually help you, or it will make you, get the other certifications easier. It will be easy for you to get a Juniper or a FortiGate or any other networking certificate. So one is better than the other always. The choice is on the graduate. The choice is on the person who chooses the certificate. So if he is interested to go into the networking side, preferred is a networking certificate. But if he has a lot of interest to deal into the Active Directories and Exchange servers and the operating systems, my suggestion will be a Microsoft certificate for a basic. And then moving on, there are a lot of opportunities on the Sun, Solaris, and Linux sides on the servers. So the basic entry would be a Microsoft or a Cisco, and an Oracle if you are into the programming or development side.
Which has the largest demand and scope in abroad, whether it is programming or networking side, whether it is software or networking. Any country other than India, which has a large demand for jobs as well as scope.
I guess software, because you will see a lot of applications which are coming up, and there are a lot of technologies which are trying to make these applications. Earlier days it used to be just Java and C++, but now you have ASPs, you have the .NET technologies. So preferably software is in use in most of the places abroad. But again, network and software are two different streams altogether. Because one more reason is that times keep changing, technologies and trends also keep changing. So what is in demand now? Maybe now networking is in demand, but later after 6 months down the lane, you will find software has a very good boom. But say it or not, software will have a very good opportunity. May not be now, maybe in future. So the choice is actually on the person who's choosing the career.
Requirement is what is the candidate requirement if he have to be placed abroad other than India?
You will definitely need a little bit of experience, at least 1 or 2 years, because in most cases what I have seen is when I started my career, I learned a lot of things. As a fresher, when I joined a company, I learned a lot of things. They taught me. But at the same time, when you expect the same thing from abroad, this will not happen. They will not teach you. But if you're going to be a fresher, again saying, even if you're going to be a fresher in a company in abroad, most cases they will not give you time to learn. They're not there for training you. Maybe they will give you a specialized training, but not the basics. So my suggestion is have a company, as in have a profession, get a job in India, have an experience for at least 1 or 2 years, learn all the techniques, learn all the tactics of a company, and then place yourself in a company in abroad. This will help you in the long run because you will know how to work with your teammates, how to be a very good team player, and how to be best in your work.
Okay, sister. No more questions. Jazakallah khairan for your time.
Brother.
Alaikum.
Alaikum salam.